Alright guys, here's where we're at right now for today. I have to bring down this corner here for its final coat. I may run another one across there. I got kind of like 2.5 on there already, but I may do a little more, but it does look pretty good. But I'm going to see what it looks like after I do the corner. I got this whole, both sides of this corner because I screwed up yesterday and forgot to do one side. On my final coats, I like to do one corner, let it dry, then do the opposite side just to try to get a nice smooth 90 in each of those corners. But I messed up and forgot to do it for some reason. But this one here, I'll put the second on that. I gotta do a little touch up on this here because of the lighting. When I work at night, the lighting's terrible. I only have this overhead light here, and you can see I went a little thick. It's not a major thing, but I went a little thicker on the bringing down my edges on the top piece there, and I got a little bit of a mess over here that I didn't notice when I was putting it on, but I'll work on that today. It's not a big deal. Like I said, that's easy enough to fix. And what I just did a few minutes ago, when I was putting the ceiling in, I don't know if I had mentioned it earlier in the video, the squareness was way off. I mean, it was just terrible. As much as like 2 to 3 inches in some spots. And that's kind of what happened to me over here. It was really tight in the back, and I didn't take a second measurement. I should have never assumed that was going to be straight, and it wasn't. So there was a piece here that was off, so I just cut that, put that little piece in. Got to fix that little tape that ripped there, and I'll tape this up, compound it, and that'll be done. Not too concerned with the gap over there because there's going to be molding there, and I got to finish up that piece there. But that's where we're at now. So I'm going to get to mixing up some of the compound, diluting it a little bit with water for the final coat, and hit those corners and fix this up. But that's where we're at right now. Alright, that's pre-filled. Little issue with this corner over here. I might have to work out later on. I'll let that dry in there and sand it out and hit it again. I might have put a little bit too much more water than normal in my compound, so I'm gonna let it like tack for a minute, and should go on better. Alright guys, I got most of the, everything's been 3-coated as far as the compound goes. I just went over everything with the last, well not the last, but I just went over the sanding again for the 3rd time. So now basically what I'm going to do is just going to go through and look for some imperfections. Anything that might have shrunk on the last coat. I did see some of them as I'm going along. Mainly up in my corners up here in, where the 90s are, from, you know, hitting both sides. I don't have that perfect crease, so I'm going to go through and sand down some of the high spots with this and the corner sponge to try to smooth them out, and then probably go back and just fill in some of the spots. Like there's a little bit of shrinkage in some areas, so I'm gonna work on that now. This is kind of like the tedious part, but it is the last time going through, so I want it to be right, and these little things what really makes it look good. So I'm gonna work on that. Put a mask on. These little sponges are really good. They can really shore up your corners. You can see that's a really pretty good corner now. Just with a little bit of work. This one here, I probably got a little fill I gotta put in on this one. And wherever the 4 corners meet right in the corner, I need a little bit more from playing with it when you're going over it. But these things do a great job. pretty good for all the high stuff. I got just this low piece over here, and that's pretty smooth already. Just gonna hit that real quick, and then just go around and do some touch-ups. So I'll get that out of the way now. All right, try to show you this big piece here that we had to fan out quite a bit. This looks pretty good. It's nice and smooth everywhere. So that section is done. I still have to do this back wall. As you can see, there's no stud to the right, and that right board, that the wallpaper on it, goes all the way up. They're using that support for the cabinet, so I can't cut that out. So I'm gonna just put a stud in there, and then I'll hit that. But no big hurry for that. But I'll show you when that gets done too. Okay, I got some spots after the sanding that I just got to touch up. That I got a little bit of shrinkage in there. Just not quite happy with it, so I just want to touch them up. So I marked them off with pencil, so I know where they are when I go to sand them, because there's just some of them are small spots. I don't know if you can see up in the corner here, just where it's shrunk in a little bit, all the way down here. I'm going to tighten up the corners a little bit better, because those are the ones that are a little bit of a pain. But you can see where I put the pencil. So I'm just going to go through real quick and tighten that up. Just fill it in real quick, and then I'll go back and sand them down tomorrow. All right, I think that's pretty good for now. I'll let them dry in and sponge sand them tomorrow, and I just got to touch up a piece up on top here from where I had to put a patch in, and I'll tape that and put another coat on. I pre-filled it. I don't know if you can see it here. I pre-filled it, so I had to put a patch in, and I'll sand that down, and then put some tape on it, and hit it again once or twice, and then that section will be done, and that's pretty much gonna be it as far as all the tape and compound. Tape it down real good with the broom, and then a very light damp sponge to get all the dust off the walls, and we'll be ready for paint. All right.